What's up, everybody? It's Joe LaPuma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two friends, my two co-hosts. First off, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
It's real fall outside today, right? Not fake fall.
You got the Chris Bevins Eddie Bauer on?
Hey, not Chris Bevins,
look at that.
Eddie Bauer, yeah.
Okay. In my eyes, it's Chris Bevins, but Eddie Bauer. But all good. To my left, he got his shell jacket on. Not even raining yet, but he's prepared.
It was raining. Was it not raining this morning?
I walked 20 blocks today.
It has been like on and off raining for the past like 3 days.
It wasn't
I'm from the
raining
Pacific Northwest. What do you want from me?
It wasn't raining when I was walking to work, but he's ready.
It's
He's ready
fall.
for all
Do you
weather.
feel like a shell of yourself? Right now?
It's fall. That's how you
Did
know
you
that
hear
we're
the joke?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I was gonna say it's fall. That's how you know Welty's really start dressing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
also
Layer weather.
he's got pants on. Can you remember? Can you remember the last time? This is such a foreign image.
Every
to
time
me.
I think of him, I just think of him like this.
Yeah.
Yep, that's his stance.
Arms folded.
Yep, with the shorts.
Biceps puffed out with some hoochie daddy shorts on right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what convinced him to cover up the calves today.
You knew I was back in town. You didn't want to have a calf off. I get it.
That could have been it.
I get it.
That could have been it. You look good though.
The fact that, thank you, it is, what is it, like 50 degrees outside?
I love
It's
it.
cold.
Oh, I'm
I
ready.
love it.
I'm ready.
Gonna bring everything out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Some of those
Kith
Kith BMW pieces.
Maybe.
Because
I'm
you're
back.
fresh off an airplane, right?
Fresh off.
Was it a
fresh
private
off the
jet?
jet lag? No.
When you go-
Nope. Fresh off the jet lag. Back from the Kith. Let's get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people guess he's in Paris with Ronnie. That's where I was. We did multiple countries. We landed in Munich, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Drove.
Bavaria.
You
You were in the Champagne region of France.
Went to Champagne.
Munich
Went
is
to
in Bavaria, is that right?
Yeah. Went to Switzerland. Went to Champagne. Ended up in Paris. They drove BMWs.
They? What do you mean they? Didn't everybody drive? There were a bunch of people on the trip, and
All
you would
right,
be in a
so
car with
listen,
a couple
do you not
people.
Let's get it out of
Do
the
you
way.
not have a driver's license?
I do have a driver's license. I was in the content car though.
You didn't have to drive, or you
have
didn't get to drive.
I didn't get.
Wait,
I didn't have
Ronnie
to
Five
drive.
gave you
I didn't have to
opportunity
drive.
fucking
I
push
didn't
a
have to drive.
BMW on the autobahn, and you didn't grab the wheel.
I didn't drive on the
No.
Autobahn. I was in the content car with Austin, Scotty, and our friends,
Other car?
our friend, 13th Witness.
Yeah.
Wait, so you went to Paris to go drive BMWs, and you don't link up with the best car driver in all of Paris?
Arthur Carr?
Arthur
Carr.
Carr.
Okay, so I was
You had so many misses on this thing, man.
already. No, I didn't. I was in the content car. I fell asleep a lot.
You
okay?
didn't want
I
to
fell
push
asleep.
metal to the metal?
Imagine driving through Paris in exclusive Kith BMW with Arthur Carr as your chauffeur.
Imagine whipping down the Autobahn. You know what? One time as an 18-year-old, I'll tell the full story some other time, but
Okay.
I have fond memory of it flying down the Autobahn in the backseat of an Audi A8 with a guy who owned a paper mill.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the feels
He
good man
also-
dog meme. The feels good dog meme. We got to put it up when you're just in the back seat like that.
You'll like this. He also, German dude, also had a Bon Jovi cover band, and in the basement of his house had a sunglasses collection, an immaculate sunglasses collection, a la John Bon Jovi.
I think
Story for another day.
my
pin
favorite
in it.
Audi memory I don't know if this is too much of the sauce. I was one time in Atlanta with I was in Atlanta
Trinidad?
to go to meet up with Trinidad.
Yeah.
And I think he had an Audi, is it R8?
I don't know anything about cars.
It's one of the higher end Audis. I look it up. I'm like, this car is 6 figures.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, where do you want to meet up? And he's getting out of dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
As you do.
But he gets a flat tire in his Audi, so I catch Trinidad changing a tire himself on the
Really?
Audi.
Where you had the
Nice.
tire
in front
iron
of
out?
Ruth Chris.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an
That's a
iconic
scene.
image.
So yeah, listen, back from the trip, Ronnie did 2 collaborative BMWs. He did the 1602 full electric. It was I think it's from 1972. And then he also did a i4 M50.
And you didn't drive any of them.
i4, I didn't drive any of them.
How
But
does the back seat feel?
it was
Leather's
good.
plush?
It was good. It was good. I was in the front seat. Shouts to our driver, Ben, from BMW. Great guy. Austin Scotty doing that. You guys know Austin. And then
Yeah.
13th Witness on the photos. But it was a good trip. Great to see everyone. Pekos, who go watch that podcast if you
Legend.
haven't.
Yeah.
So many stories.
Did you
play
Our
any-
boy Victor Cruz, of course.
I got 2 questions. So
Okay.
first one,
2. Let's see how many I answer, though.
no. First one, so you're flying with the whole Just Us crew. Who do you
I know what you're doing.
No, who do you
I know what you're doing by saying that. But
Who
yes.
do you sit next to on the plane on the trip? Who do you sit next to?
We didn't sit next to each other on the way there.
Because
We had a good seat.
yeah.
Way back, sat next to Pekos, Danny Nunes, Greg Una,
What a
Fun
crew.
flight back.
What a
Circle
motley
JFK
bunch.
for an hour. Little, 8.5 hour flight. Circle JFK for a while. Just wanted to land. But it was a good crew. Nunes is hilarious.
Welty, what's your second question?
Second question.
Oh, that was
So say it's another high school reunion or whatever, or the holidays. You pull up to Bayshore in the Kith BMW.
Yes. What's the question?
I mean, how much are you like the coolest man in town even more?
The VMOC?
Listen, the colors are amazing. I'm not a big car guy, but like if I did, yeah.
BMWs go hard in Bayshore though.
Oh,
No,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like it's like
What would the dream car?
You're not
hold on,
sure,
hold
but
on.
you're sure.
No,
like
no.
big-
What would
big
the dream
Hey.
car? What would the dream
Can I
car
get
be?
credit for that one?
What would the dream car be if you do you drive?
I have not drove a car since 2014.
Wow. If you go home, like Jersey, you live in the city, so like it's different. But like if you went back to the suburbs, what would be your car?
Back
of
to the
choice?
suburbs. I did not grow up in the suburbs.
Okay, I'm saying
I didn't grow
back
up in
in
a
a
city, but I
suburb.
didn't grow
Okay,
up in
back
the
in the
suburbs.
He's
suburbs.
like, I got to go over the suburbs.
I'm not saying if
I
you
grew
went
up on a
back to
fucking dirt
Portland.
road.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant. What would you if you had to drive every day? What would it?
There are images of cars in my head that I like, but I don't know enough about cars to know it's that car.
Okay.
And I'm not knowledgeable about them.
Okay.
One thing I always.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good.
Subaru Forester is a classic to me.
Okay.
That's not a luxury automobile, but
It's a very PNW car.
yeah.
I love it. Gotta stay humble.
The car I always wanted growing up in high school, and this is very much of that era, was I wanted an Acura Integra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With some bass
Acura
rattling in the
big
trunk.
with the little dice in the big
Not-
Acura. Listen,
Jumpman
shouts to
vinyl sticker on there, right?
That and the Civic, like with the rims.
Oh,
Jeremy
yeah.
Ruff took me to school every day. Shouts to Jeremy Ruff. Thank you so much. He was a year older than me. He took me to school every day. Honda Civic had the system. We went to
Yep.
school
Rattling.
What were we
rattling,
listening to?
but Bayshore is right over the high school, right over the train tracks. One day, the tire just came off, and literally the tire just came off and was
You should have had Trinidad James with you. You could have busted out that iron.
not flat. The tire came off going over the tracks on the way to school one
Happens
day.
in F1 sometimes.
Crazy.
Got to throw in a
We would
mention.
need you, a little pit crew in Bayshore. That's what we need.
You and Trinidad could like team up for a pit crew team.
Ooh, the
Great
pit
trip.
crew.
Shouts to Ronnie. He'll
Oregon.
probably be back on this podcast. He's always cooking up.
Can I ask you one question about the thing?
He got 2, you get 1. Go for it.
I know Ronnie's a backgammon player, and I saw some shots of backgammon. Do you
They
play
take-
backgammon? Do you
No.
get busy?
No driving, no backgammon. They take backgammon very serious. He
Who
had a
else
one
in the squad?
Sean
Because I like
Brown.
a
Sean
bit
Brown.
of backgammon, so I want to know.
Michi, who was on the trip from the concept. I'm not going to say the results. Ronnie takes it very serious, but
Yeah.
Ronnie may have taken some L's in backgammon. But
Really?
they have the Sedell's Kith 1 of 1 back. Do you play backgammon?
Yeah, a little bit.
They take it very serious.
Sorry, I got to throw in a pun. Eric Seidel,
Okay.
backgammon champion. Look him up. Poker player. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So
You told me the alley oop, so I'm gonna flush it.
went to Kith Paris, walked out with a pair that I know my co-host to the left.
The shoes you're wearing right now?
Yep.
Are we already getting into this?
Yeah, let's get into it. One of his favorites.
I don't like those.
I know. That's why I wore them, just to let you know I'm back, baby.
Okay.
Nike Espelink. Got my
Yeah.
12,000 steps in Paris in these.
Do those feel good?
They do feel good. And you know what they remind
Good,
me
'cause
of?
they don't
Let's
look
see.
good.
Let's see. Hold on. What shoe of a different
Reebok
brand
DMX Run 10.
is that known?
No, but as soon as you said it, I
They
saw
look
it.
like that.
That's
but they-
all I kept saying on the
Yeah.
They
in the
also kinda
group.
look like a
You know what they
footscape.
remind me of? You know exactly. And I love the Reebok DMX 10.
So they look like a footscape.
I think Ronnie said that too, but that's what they remind me of. And I
Yeah.
love the DMX 10.
Shout out Stephen Smith.
Yep.
I walked the last day in Paris in these, very comfortable. These
Sounds
may
like
turn
a film.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same, right? Name it Joe's
these may
next
turn
album.
into the travel shoes because the black CDG Air Max 95, they almost got left in the hotel. They're getting to the point where
Wait,
it's just too beat.
Can you write that on the side of one of your other shoes? The last day in Paris.
He hit you with the
He has
endless summer.
he loves it. He's an infatuation with me writing on the shoes. Just wait.
Gonna write a diss song to me on the side of the shoe.
Nah. I'm here for the banner. I'm here for the jokes, and I'm here. What are you wearing, Mr. What does it say on the nothing? Okay, go ahead.
No,
What does it say? Worst tweet on this app I've ever seen. Yeah,
We gotta
let's
talk
talk
about the
about it.
tweets.
We'll get to it.
We can talk about
Go.
the tweets.
These just a GR Cayano 14.
Are you pulling up the tweets right now?
No, I will.
Those look nice. You're on the ASICS wave right now, right?
Yeah, are you?
A little bit. I mean, he's got this smile on his face.
No, I'm just
Why, are you
asking.
designing one?
No, I feel like I'm scared to say whether I am or not because
Oh.
What,
as
he's
with
gonna
the
take
John
credit?
Bear,
Yeah.
he's not going to take credit. He's going to check my credentials in a couple weeks and be like, you said on this date that you. No, I like what ASICS is doing right now.
What about you?
Solomon XT-6.
Ooh,
the
he's
white
ready.
pair. I brought these out before. These are kind of becoming the beaters a little bit.
Okay, ready for any weather. Fly in any weather.
Oh, another shoe you
The
changed.
Birdman, baby.
Another shoe you changed your mind on, though.
So
There
what
we
did
go.
I tell you?
There we go.
I don't.
Nobody
I just
keeps
remember,
me honest like Batwell, too.
But okay, so before like the Salomon thing like took off, right?
I know exactly.
When they were like bubbling like a little bit, where people are like, "Oh, Salomon's interesting. I want to get into it or not."
Yep.
You had purchased a pair of Salomons or had got sent a pair of
Wrong.
Salomons. One of the two.
I tried on a pair at the store.
Tried on a pair, but this is before anyone. I want to say this is like 2020, before anyone had really quite like dipped their toes into them, literally
Nice.
and figuratively.
Nobody on our team had started wearing
Yeah.
them.
And
Who was
you-
the first?
I think Ben maybe got a pair.
Yeah, Ben
Shouts
committed
to
before
Ben.
anyone. Ben Felderstein.
Is it confirmed it's Ben's birthday week or no?
You
If
said
so-
that. I don't know.
Happy birthday.
And you had said that the shoes are very stiff. I said, shook my
Okay.
head, happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
You said the shoes like don't feel good, they're very stiff.
I did say that.
And then you kind of like thwarted people from hopping on the Salomon wave.
Listen, I said that one time that was my opinion and my feedback from one wear, and you brought this up many times. And I
But, I mean,
appreciate
but
that y'all
it-
trust me to that
but
extent, but
being-
I never said like don't wear Solomons.
But being like the I'm not meaning to get this wrong, but general manager of that's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
title, of Soul Collector, don't you think if you say that a shoe is good or bad on feet, that we should take your opinion seriously?
I
on it?
mean,
Wow.
this is hard because you're giving me credit while you're like shopping. You know what? It's like
No, so look at it this way.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that, so say if a shoe comes out and I'm kind of interested in it, and one of you say that, hey, I put those on and like,
Yeah.
they like really hurt my heel or something like that, I'm gonna like take that
True.
opinion like for like what it's like for what it's worth. Like
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
like it's gonna
I
like
appreciate that.
it'd be like if you like went to like a restaurant down the street and you're like, oh, the tacos here are disgusting. Like, don't try them.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go eat there because you told me that like it was that. So when you told me the shoes weren't comfortable in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to try these out.
Little different though, because we have very different tastes.
No, but
So I may deal with some pain that you don't.
But I want to say that I was never a hater. I'd said one time, but you're right.
We're off to a roaring start.
We need to talk about the tweets because
Yeah.
he was roaring.
Listen,
He
I don't know
was
what's
roaring
happening
like a
Sunday.
dungeon dragon.
And what did I tell him?
On a
Yeah,
Sunday
exactly.
night.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's Sunday throughout the day. And what I tell
tried
him,
to find my piece.
yeah,
Really?
no, I told you. Yesterday on the text thread, you were going to send me something. I was like, if it's going to disturb the peace, shouts to Luda. If you're going to disturb the peace on the Lord's Day, okay. If you're gonna disturb the peace on a Sunday, don't send it to me. You had no problem getting in the weeds. I saw the tweets.
Dude.
What happened?
energy.
People coming at your credibility on
It
the
just-
Lord's Day?
Hey, here's my thing is that, and I agree. Maybe sometimes you should just
Log off.
stay away from stuff. But here's,
Can you give context? 'Cause
Okay,
Give
so
context.
Please go.
There were two
look at these
examples. Sometimes I feel like when people try to like spin a false narrative of you.
Like you did with me and the Solomons.
Yeah, well, actually, I said something that was factually true. But so someone try to spin a false narrative of you online. Sometimes it's good to like shut things down and
Yeah.
let people know that
Man's
hey,
never been in, what is it? A shutdown?
But also
Has there
at
been in
the,
the
at the same time where it's
Flimby
like
factory when it's shut down? Yeah.
people try to spin a false narrative of you online,
Yeah.
and then think that they could just get away with just slandering you,
Yeah.
and then sometimes you have to let them know. Be
Not
like,
today.
Hey, look,
Not today, Satan.
yeah.
Literally.
If you want to step to me, you better step correct.
Oh, wow. You pulling out the you got served lingo?
So somebody
You
said
were watching You Got Served?
Some totally random person asked, and again, this person who asked this has 500 followers. Her name is Denise Morales. She asked, "Can someone explain to me the New Balance trend?"
I was not coming at her.
No, not at all. And some guy who we're not even going to mention, he just replied and he said, "Some can't stand Jordan because he killed their team in the '90s. See Action Bronson on Full Set
Yes.
Run. Others think they're being cool and edgy, like they know something you don't. See Matt Welty from Complex
Oh!
Sneakers. Welty goes there for the quote tweet. That's how you know he was
Wow.
out for blood, is he didn't just reply. He wanted the whole timeline to see. He said, I've been wearing New Balance for 15 years and grew up 20 minutes from the factory and made my own sneaker with the brand, but go off, King. He didn't stop there.
Listen.
People like New Balance. I like to... Yeah, Welty was giving out lectures on a Sunday. Sermons, I might even call them.
Preach.
Preach.
Look at how excited he is about his clapback.
Someone else said to him, NBs will forever be a dad shoe. Old head collectors are trying hard to push this agenda to make them cool, and therefore they be considered cool. But the truth is you're just old, and your foot can't handle a Jordan all day. So like your dad, you will only wear NBs moving forward. Well, they
I
said
feel
one
like
of
if
the
someone
dumbest
says
tweets I've
that
ever
to you,
seen
you
on
have
this
to say
app.
something back.
Listen.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to read everyone, but
Go.
this is what I love, the chronology of this. After he told this guy one of the dumbest tweets on this app, he said, okay, enough nonsense for the day. Hope you all can praise God and do your laundry.
Who said that? Him?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure he
A couple
came back.
hours later.
Yeah, of course. You knew he came back. I didn't even know if he came back. Of course. I'm logging off. No, you're
A couple
not.
hours later, some guy, I think somebody else was in the conversation, said, the fact that you brought up the shoe was hot in the 80s proves my point, bro. And Welty said, when the fuck did you think Dunks Jordan
You
was
said
in
the
Air
F
Force?
word?
No, I said what the F.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Oh, listen,
I should have
dramatic.
said what the frick.
Red for dramatic effect. Go ahead.
Dunks Jordan Air Force Ones came out. And then you just put the Air Max 270. Hard to trust anyone who wears this shoe. Knowing he was mere minutes away from sitting down and recording a podcast
It was
with Joe
all
LaPuma,
no. It was
who
just another
loves
straight
the
shot.
It was a
270.
Another straight
specific-
shot.
It's getting hot in here.
Another straight shot.
It was a specific colorway.
taking my
Let
jacket
it be
off.
known, I had said it was a joke. Hard to trust anyone who wears the shoe, and it's the all red Air Max 270.
You got a pair, Joe?
No, I had the black and white. Listen, I know why you got the battery in your back for the New Balance talk, the factory talk. Mike Tyson today, sneaker
Yes.
shopping, a lot of New Balance talk. Even Mike talked about the factories. He wasn't sure what's happening, that they're producing wide enough shoes for him. But some
That's
good
facts.
Welty's been in the factories for 20 years now.
Who are
he
you?
can tell
15
that.
years. You and Tyson in the factories?
Decades.
Making the shoes myself.
So
yeah.
wait, so did you wake up with any messages today? Or are you good?
I'm good.
All right. You're happy. You're smiling. You like
I'm
that?
good.
Okay.
Life is good.
It was a good Sunday. I did get my laundry done, by the way.
Huh?
Oh, he was saying
Did you
in
get
his
your
tweets.
laundry done?
Yeah, he said, I hope everyone can praise
Yeah,
God
you were
and
at
do
the
your
laundry
laundry.
mat when we texted you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, in the Slack. Sorry.
Yeah.
But here's the real question, though.
Oh,
No, because I feel like this is like a point of debate for everyone. It's not the point of debate. You do the laundry, right?
I don't fold it.
But
Is it?
but do you put it away in a timely manner?
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm okay at that.
Okay.
Do you?
That's something I've grown to learn to do. Is
Yeah.
like you have to just get home and put it away, or else it's going to sit there in the laundry bag for like a week.
You just put in the Lee dungarees and the folded ice. Boot cut?
Oh my goodness.
18 minutes. It's time. Wait,
Time
do
to
we have
give away
more?
sneakers? I have so much more to talk about.
Is it sneaker related?
Yeah, kinda.
Go off.
Our friend Tyler Mansour got married.
Oh,
Shouts to Tyler. I didn't hit him.
Mr. Arab Lincoln.
Yes, I didn't hit him. He had the Louis Vuitton
The all gold,
Air Force One.
all gold Louis Vuitton.
golden.
Listen, I'm not mad that he showed up in the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. I'm just mad I didn't get an invite to the wedding.
Oh, me?
How far down the list do you think you were to getting an invite?
I think we actually joked about this. I don't even think I was on the bubble, but
Listen, this
That's
guy's
okay.
having a rough year. Adidas block party.
no invite.
Tyler's wedding.
No
No
invite.
invite. What's next? Nike have an event this week? No invite. It's all right. Listen, he had the shining. Shouts to him.
Yeah,
Gold, Louis Vuitton. It's a flex.
it's a nice
Yeah.
show.
I meant to hit him, but shouts to Tyler. Congratulations. You didn't play yourself. I just anytime I pause.
Action
what
Bronson
else?
and New Balances.
Oh yeah.
Should we talk about? Should we give away the shoes or should
Give
we
away
keep-
the shoes. We should
Okay,
give away
Okay,
the shoes.
we're
okay.
19 minutes in.
Okay, I'm sweating. What? Who has the
Ooh.
shoes?
I do.
Welty's got some shoes.
Reach
to
back
give
like
away.
Odell.
Oh, who's that other person? Somebody made a crazy one-handed catch this weekend. I don't know.
This
It's-
weekend?
yeah.
College?
I don't know.
Okay.
Each week on the Complex Sneakers podcast, we give away a free pair of sneakers courtesy of eBay and their authenticity guarantee program. You can enter to win by going to ebay.complex.com. You can submit a questionnaire for us to respond to and answer here on the air. If we pick your question, we're going to send you a beautiful pair of shoes completely free. And I do mean beautiful this week because I'm looking at this vintage Nike SB box.
Pink
I'm
boxes.
getting happy just seeing
I don't know
it
what
here.
it is either.
And it's not one of those ones that throw you for a loop. Isn't there like some of the newer SBs that some of the boxes look like they're pink boxes? But
Really?
They're not?
I don't know about that.
One thing I will tell you, in the sun discolors I think we talked about.
They barely
All
look
mine are
pink.
ruined. All mine are
They're like
ruined.
white. They almost
Doesn't
look
matter
white.
though, right? Not
No.
a big deal.
It
but
matters
all-
what's
all-
inside the box.
Yeah.
What are we giving away today, Welty?
Oh, I see it.
Nice.
A classic. When I
Back to
wore those for the
Bayshore.
first time, someone in Bayshore tried to play me. What are you wearing? And I said,
You said, him.
how much time you got? They tried to play me.
De La Soul, Nike SB Dunk
highs.
High. The originals,
Yes.
not the re-release where the highs are the lows and the lows are the highs.
Which I think you had an exclusive on.
Yeah, I actually had gotten to interview Hazenus from De La Soul and also Eric Costin.
Shouts to Eric
Go
Costin.
look that up.
I've actually never held a shoe in hand before, and the suede or nubuck is actually really soft.
You look really excited about it.
No, these are great.
Great shoe.
Who are we giving these away to?
We are giving these away to Eric Bolanos, El Paso, Texas. And Eric asks, would you ever sign an exclusivity deal with a sneaker brand if it meant more involvement in the designing of sneakers? Let's break this down.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever sign an exclusive deal with a sneaker brand if it meant more involvement? So basically saying,
I feel like it's like if we got a collab, if you got to do a shoe.
Well, I think it
Would you
depends
sign a
what
deal with the
brand it is.
but
Yes.
here's the thing. That would mean your dream is to design sneakers. I think I would be cool just signing to a brand that I like a bunch of sneakers that are already made.
But I think getting your own shoe though is like
You would sign an exclusivity deal to a brand without getting to make a shoe?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
If I could
would.
just wear. I always say the Nike IDs come back. Sometimes I'm doing them.
But that's what I'm saying. The
putting it
only
around.
only brand that you would sign to is Nike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You wouldn't
Depends.
sign an exclusive Adidas deal.
Would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you?
Actually, and this is funny because Welty and I probably had this thought in our heads where we've alluded to it here and there, but there was a brief moment where we were supposed to do an Adidas shoe. We were supposed to help design an Adidas shoe, a collaboration.
Didn't happen.
And it was like in that window thinking about whether or not we should only wear Adidas, but nobody ever asked us to, and I don't think it would have been a thing. I wouldn't have.
I feel like, I don't know if it's for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
One of the, besides what's your favorite shoe of all time, the
Mhm.
next question I get is, would you ever design a sneaker from like, that's the most asked question I
Yeah,
get
of
from
course.
like friends and family.
I mean,
New Balance?
Have you ever been close?
No.
Come on, don't
No,
hold out on us.
I swear
Joe.
I haven't. I haven't.
Nobody's
No.
pitched you.
No.
If they've pitched us, they've pitched you.
Didn't come across my desk.
Dave
Maybe
Matthews deleted the
Dave
email
Matthews-
before you could get
Dave
it.
Matthews didn't. No, did not come across my desk.
I have a hard time believing that.
Maybe I'll check
do you
that
feel
out.
like though, Joe, that you're such like a Nike Jordan guy that maybe some of the other brands don't even feel the not the
No.
need to approach you, but like they're not going to take the shot in the dark, like maybe like I don't know, like an A6 or something like that.
I think
they're not going to approach you because they just don't even feel like you would do it.
no, because I think I wear enough New Balance and I think I wear enough Salomon now.
But back in the day, you were just like Nike Jordan. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe. But that's like
That they don't entertain the thought of like, oh, Joe would do a New Balance or a Puma
Adidas
shoe.
I don't know.
Sneaker.
I don't know. I think it depends. I think obviously I lean super Nike Jordan.
Mhm.
But now I don't know, I kind of switch it up. I don't know.
But
I
I
don't
guess
know.
returning to the question, if any of those brands were like, you can design a shoe, but you have to only wear us for 8 months or something, would you do that? Me, no.
I don't think it. To be honest with you, if it's like
Not that it works like that.
it,
that's the question.
If it was like New Balance, Asics, Adidas,
Maybe,
and like
right?
and the
You
money
would?
and the money was good enough or something like that, it
goes.
really wouldn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like those exclusivity things are like, yes, it's a contract, and yes, they could come back and like bite you in the ass per se. But if you're just going to like wear shoes to the store or something like that, and you're not going to post it on social media,
Yeah.
then like maybe that's a bit of like a loophole
True.
in it. But you never know, because then you always see those random photos of like someone seeing X endorser, and they just pop a photo of them like paparazzi style, and they're wearing something that they shouldn't be wearing. And,
Yeah.
What about you?
My answer is probably not.
Okay.
What if it's like a
New Balance, you wouldn't sign exclusivity?
I would if they're gonna like offer, especially if they're like, hey, here's like a 6-figure something.
He's drawing up the contract right now. I love this.
Wow, look at you. You got
And
in
not
your
even
head?
talking high 6 figures, just like if they're just straight up like, here's like
Not even I. He's like, all I want is $100,000.
no, because 6 figures, yeah, 6
What a
figures.
humble ask.
But 6 figures is like such like, and I'm not like trying to take that like lightly or whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's such a vast disparity between
it's a big range.
$100,000 and $750,000 are two completely different scenarios.
The
I would
people-
say yes
the
to
people
both.
in New
Yeah,
Balance
it's
are
just-
rewriting his
It's-
contract right now.
I just have a very.
I would say yes to both for the record.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying they're two
Did you look in
vastly
your
different
camera and
things.
say that?
I would say yes for $100,000
Wow.
New Balance.
I just think that I would like to almost work with like designers on the team and have them design with like,
Yeah.
or you
Well, I mean,
know?
that's what happens anyways.
No, I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
just like, I don't know.
They're not going to give you
Just
like
wear
the
the
keys
fresh
to the
stuff?
CAD and just like Joe start cooking.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, another dream shattered.
Okay, we're making dreams come true. We're giving
Anyway,
these
Eric,
figures away.
you're getting a great pair. A classic, one of the best Dunk High SBs for sure.
Yeah, despite what people tried to play you for back home.
Yeah, I remembered it. I know exactly who it is.
Who? Should we say it?
No.
No. Okay.
These are.
It was harmless.
You know what's funny story about this shoe? When they first came out, I feel like I was so much more about the low top ones.
Yeah.
Just because at the time, like maybe in my head, like the white and yellow shoe just seemed cleaner. Because at the time, this like color combination was kind of like jarring and daring at the time. So I was like, oh, I like the low top ones. But now it's like I feel like these like nobody would say that they like the low tops. Not nobody, but
Yeah, I think
this is the one.
There's no
is the enduring
comparison.
one.
You know, everyone, listen. You have your own preference, but there's no comparison.
Yeah. You have your own preference, but it's wrong. Can we talk about New Balance a bit more?
Yeah, let's talk about New Balance.
Action Bronson?
Awesome, right? Bam Bam, Baklava, not Bigelow.
We should have went to AEW.
AEW.
He said on Noah's show, Idea Generation, his dream was to be a professional wrestler, and Noah was like, "Oh, WWE." He's like, "No, AEW." He made his AEW debut in
His new upcoming New Balance collaboration. I had seen.
You know for sure that's that?
Yeah. How it came out was friend of the program, Kevin Trotman, who works at New Balance designing the collaborations, had posted it on his IG story, saying I forget the exact verbiage, but he was like, "Bam!" He's like Action Bronson in his upcoming whatever.
I hope we're not
Shoot.
getting Kevin in trouble right now.
No, he posted it on his IG story.
Okay.
I mean, I think at this point, all the blogs have posted it.
Okay.
So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's legit that this is the shoe. And
Had you seen that shoe before though?
So I guess the story is that I hadn't seen the full one, but he had posted the tongue on Instagram.
On stories, right?
Yeah. And I guess there's a story behind the scene or whatever that I don't know if I should say this, but whatever.
No, maybe you shouldn't. Oh, it's up to you.
Let's say it and then let's think about it after. So anyways, what happened was that he had posted it and he had maybe indulged a little bit too much in the reefer madness and forgot that he had posted the shoe online. It was like, why the F is this on the internet?
all right. Dry snitching on a Monday.
I guess I thought that, and I'm not making it fun. I thought that you were on the level of New Balance Insider where you had seen or you knew something about this that the rest of us didn't at some point.
Yeah, you plugged in on the WhatsApp?
I think maybe I talked about it at a dinner, but
Got it.
but I don't remember. I don't think they may have showed the shoe, but I don't 1,000% remember.
Got it.
But there had been a discussion.
Do you like the looks of it?
I do. A lot of people so I think like the first unpacking of this is that we've seen pictures of it, but the V6 is like, I feel like it's drastically different from.
I like the V6. New Balance 990 V6.
But like, I know everyone's like, oh, it's the same shoe, it's the same shoe, it's the same shoe
Yeah.
every year, even though they're like slightly different. But I feel like from like the V5 to the V6, it's like there's like a lot of design language that has changed in that shoe.
Yeah, more than it usually does.
The midsole is like a lot different in that sneaker. So, I mean, I like it, but it's just definitely not just like, oh, V3, V4, V5 are all kind of the same.
Yeah.
A lot of New Balances in Paris, a lot of Reebok classics in Paris, dirtied. Like, they know how to like cap an outfit off with like those types of sneakers. Really, really good.
Yeah.
But we saw Bronson in his version of the shoe. It has like a blue midsole, like greenish red upper on it. Interesting part too is so he comes out, he's wrestling with 7 30 hook.
Yeah.
And
Who's over it? Who's Taz's son? Who Taz?
Y'all are speaking a different language. Right?
Yeah, but
Taz-
Taz used to work in the building at Time Life, and he would hit me up.
But Taz, former WWE superstar.
And ECW legend.
So he is wrestling with 730 hook. 730 hook wearing the wrestling boots that were designed by Ass Pizza.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
full. Look at
Isn't it the whole like the 730?
Yeah.
He has like the boots with that
and Hook
on
is
it.
a huge Action Bronson fan. That's how
It's all connected.
And they
all
were
connected.
actually made by another layer to it by our friend Yuji, who made those Adidas Superstars for us
Oh, wow.
on the campaign that we did. He
Custom
actually like
The one-
built the boots.
Wow. Look at that.
This is all
It's all like coming together.
Connected.
All connected.
Joe miming it out here. Can we talk about another New Balance shoe?
Yeah.
Was this a stretch, that Air Max Bliss?
A little bit.
When I first
A little
saw
bit.
when I
If-
first
if
saw
I
you're
it,
checked the
listening to
mentions
this-
too, a little
if
bit.
you're listening to this,
a little bit.
please
What do
go
you
look
think?
up
Did
the
he change your
Nike-
mind?
Not really. The Nike
Okay.
Air Max Bliss and the New Balance 992. And tell me if you think the Nike Air Max
Put them
Bliss
side by side.
is a New Balance
think-
992 wannabe. Somebody had DM'd it to me, and
I've
I
gotten this,
mentioned it to the rest of the group, and I was like, this is kind of funny, right? This Nike sneaker looks a little bit like it's trying to be this New Balance sneaker.
well, I think it's the reason why it throws a lot of people off is because it has the air bubble on it. I feel
Right.
like if you take the air bubble off, it looks a lot more like a New Balance.
Okay.
It's like the lines in the midsole, and like if you look at the toe box like straight on, it kind of has like a similar look to it. And someone's like, "Oh, but if you," and we can find the picture here because someone had sent it or tweeted it. But they're like, "Yeah, but if you look at the shoe in all gray, it looks much more like a New Balance," and they did, and it looks much closer. You know?
And we know brands do these things.
Yes, for sure.
What was that one Nike shoe that was?
The ripoff of the NMD.
Yeah, what was that shoe called? Lunar Essential. Nike Lunar Essential. Was that it?
It was Lunar something.
I need to
All I
look this
remember
up.
is we were at the world's
Yes.
worst sneaker party ever.
Yes.
With no disrespect.
Don't say the person's name.
Jeez.
Hosted by Foot Locker.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, but there was
What?
a person.
Peter Rosenberg.
Nike Lunar Charge Essential was this the
Lunar
shoe?
Charge.
Yeah, man, this shoe was just like they saw the
So
NMD and made
so
it
they
back.
this is like so Nike tried to like this is when NMD was like crushing it
Yeah.
like 2016 2016 I think. And we go to this Foot Locker space, and the story behind the NMD is that it took 3 old Adidas shoes, cut them up, and like put them together. The Adidas, I think, Rising Star, Micro Pacer, and Boston Super. Those are like the DNA of the NMD, all the bits and pieces. So we go to this Foot Locker space, and they have like all these like OG Nike shoes, like Air Max 90 and Presto and like Lunar Flow, like
stuff
all like
that informed the Lunar Charge Essential.
yeah, that like these were like what the design the shoe. You're like, wait, this is the same design story of the Adidas NMD.
And literally because the NMD was all those but on a new modern cushioning,
Yeah.
and the Lunar Charge was all those but on a new modern cushioning. And a PR person who worked for Nike who was there at the event told me, yeah, this is sort of like for the consumer who likes to Stan Smith.
Really?
You mean, yes, 100%. I'm like, oh, you mean the person who wants to buy Adidas are going to want to buy this Nike shoe that looks like this Adidas shoe?
Damn.
Also, a small tidbit of that story that
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about until now. I think Young MA performed
Oh, that's
at
dope.
the event too. Just random.
So that made it worth our time.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Terrible event, though. Forgettable shoe.
Jeez. Forgettable event, forgettable shoe, apparently. Yeah, but I don't know. Got some
Let
some
us know if
Well,
I'm
Stretch
stretching
Armstrong?
saying that the
Well-
Nike Air Max Bliss looks like a New Balance 992.
Not
And
to-
if you design the shoe, send me a DM and let me know what the real reason was.
I had made a joke about saying that it's just ironic because of Nike, and this is like I feel like sometimes this is always like my one of my like critiques or whatever, especially with Nike, where it's like Nike feels like they're everyone, not just Nike. I would say people who work at Nike feel like they're so much like above like every other sneaker brand.
This is true.
That's just I'm not trying to like talk shit or call people out. Just being around the industry, like
Yeah.
a lot of the other brands feel more of like, hey, you work at another brand, but we all kind of do the same thing, and there's kind of like this
some
like
kinship.
yeah, symbiotic. But like Nike's like, no, we're at Nike. You're not here. You can't sit with us. Like that's like, and you're like, dude, you'd be so much cooler if you didn't act like that. But so at the Just Do It day, that whole like Nike cult meeting thing that went on a few weeks ago, right? The
Go
thing
on.
at campus, right?
Yeah.
Where Drake has like his stand-up piece.
Yeah, he's doing the Maxim Awards.
And he makes fun of New Balance. He said Nike's so old now that the brand's starting to wear New Balance.
That was great. That was a funny joke.
That
It
was
is.
fine.
It is.
He had a
Oh,
great 10
God.
minutes. He had a tight 10.
What, you took offense to it?
I didn't take offense to it. It's just funny that like everyone at like Nike's like, haha, New Balance, haha, New Balance. And then literally people internally at Nike are probably trying to rip off a New Balance shoe at the same time while they're laughing at the joke.
Maybe. Wow, you're really.
If I was accused
Dude.
of a stretch,
Dude,
you're hitting the CrossFit stretches right now.
yeah.
Is that a stretch?
Yes. The joke, the harmless joke, and this shoe that potentially looks like a shoe all connected, like
The
stretch.
smile on your face.
Stretch.
I know. I'm totally there for it. I'm totally there.
Listen, whatever's going
I'm
on
totally
in your
there
head,
for it.
is totally fine. But
in your head.
No, it's like-
Emphasis.
the Drake joke to that,
You don't see it?
No.
My whole take is that sometimes when it's like when you have a certain persona or whatever, right? And you're like so like bravado about it, meaning like I work at Nike, screw all the other brands sort of thing. And then secretly like you're doing this all along.
Mm-hmm.
You're real like you
Are
should
they
just
secretly doing it all along?
I mean
Never forget the
like
Nike sneakers meeting that we leaked because I had its contents in entirety, where in a presentation they said that they were worried about losing consumers to New Balance.
But I thought he was talking about like
Actually making shoes that look
Yeah.
like New Balances. Yeah, it's conjecture on that part, but fair.
do you still believe that it looks like it? Or
In my opinion, it looks like the Air Max. I mean, it's not a huge deal, it's not a direct ripoff. But when I saw the Air Max Bliss and this person said, "Doesn't this look like a New Balance 992?" I said to myself, "Yeah, it looks kind
To
of like a New
think
Balance."
Drake
that-
joke was really
Okay.
fine though.
Yes.
but
It
to
was
think
great. It was funny.
no, but it's just like me kind of like jokingly like tying it in, being
Oh,
like
then that's fine. That's what I mean.
okay, yeah, it's not like me thinking that Drake's in on any of this
No,
sort
but
of
that's
stuff.
what I'm saying. That's
No,
what I'm
I don't
saying.
think so.
Sometimes
But it's just
I
funny.
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
No,
Sometimes
but it's just funny in like the
and
back of my
Bear are
head where it's like
collaborating.
there's people at
Yeah.
Nike who are probably like laughing about this because like, New Balance, but then also secretly like have this plan like behind the scenes to like try and like capture a bit of New Balance's market share. I feel like that.
that's just normal.
No, but
And
like,
New Balance is trying to capture theirs.
True.
but all I'm saying is that I feel like the other brands are maybe like a little more like transparent with it sometimes. Just not saying we're
Maybe
trying
because they're not. People are chasing Nike, not the other way around. Like it's almost like you always hear like Jay-Z never kind of shoots down.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like common sense that Nike being the biggest one that they wouldn't be as transparent as people trying to catch? I feel like that happens for everything.
That's fair.
No,
I get.
you see what I'm saying?
I get what you're.
how many like of the biggest like acknowledge? It's like
Entities.
that whole it's like that whole thing that like the bravado thing
This
of
is you got it way off because this is one of the biggest pundits in sneakers, and he's spending his Sundays clapping at people with 45 followers on Twitter.
I mean, I think that's just how
Those
it
rules
goes.
don't apply to him.
Like they always say like a Jay-Z response is the biggest thing, but he never responds.
Yeah.
But listen,
Should we move on from the Air Max? I feel bad that I turned this into a big thing. The Air Max
No.
Bliss.
totally fine.
Can we talk about something Nike has done right that you enjoyed?
will you allow it?
What is this?
This
No, look.
Kohls,
Oh, Sachs.
That
Tom Sachs GPS
Awesome.
rollout. Incredible.
Did anyone go?
No,
And I didn't go.
all the Kohls
I did
locations
not
They had
are
a
like
list
in the Midwest.
Contrary to his tweet, I did not go.
Well, so they had.
I was out of the country.
We had found out. What was it? Thursday night or something like
I
that?
think Thursday night.
Thursday
Kohls
night-
posted that they were going to get stock. of
Yeah,
the
there
Tom
was like
Sachs
word
GPS
going
shoe.
around a little bit, and we're like, wait, is this for real? You know, like it didn't seem like it was not like it was legit, but it just seemed like
Didn't make any sense. On
someone
some
was like
level.
making a joke or on
Yeah.
on Twitter or whatever. And then we see it, and then you go to the Kohls website, and they actually are like, no, it's
There's a
releasing.
landing page for it.
Yeah, and there was a list of stores that like these are the locations together.
Mm-hmm.
There was one in New Jersey in Hillsborough, which is like central-ish Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go like an
Did
hour.
you
hour
thought about it though?
No, I was
that
like,
would've
I didn't want to like, not
Live
really-
on the scene.
not worth it for me. You know,
Okay.
you're gonna spend like 4 hours of your day like round trip, like just to try to get a pair of shoes that like if
Think
you
same with the people.
I don't know if you really wanted them, like I don't know, like to me it's like the effort versus like the what you can.
Not the experience, though. That would have been fire going into Kohls.
That's what's so cool about this to me.
If I was home,
But imagine
in
if you-
Bayshore, I would have went.
But imagine if you do all of that and then you don't get the shoes and you just spent 4 hours of your
Oh,
day.
well, Kohls is right.
Yeah,
down
but
the
the
road
shoes
from me.
are the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Or what is,
The
It
friend-
reminds me of like
yeah.
I
You know
remember
what I
the Missoni Target collection. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, I went in like early morning and there was got so many items, but
Do you still have them?
no,
but yeah, this.
past relationship. Just being honest and transparent.
Yeah,
but
thank you for that. Tom Sachs, Kohls, GPS rollout. It's so cool to me because it's
really
something you
cool.
would never expect, and it's also very much them leaning into this thing of it being a boring anti-sneakerhead sneaker. The sneaker is not your personality. It's just something very plain, and it kind of brought back in an unexpected way this hunt for a shoe where there's not a lot of surprises like that anymore. Everybody always knows where everything is releasing, and you don't have those moments as much anymore. Yeah, a few thousand pairs popping up at Kohls stores. It's this democratic sneaker release. You know, you have people lining up outside of Kohls. Everything about it. I saw some people trying to find a way to nitpick or be upset about this. Oh, they didn't do it in Europe. It's not fair. Like, how can you be mad about this release? This is
There's
one
no
of the coolest
Kohls in
releases.
Europe. There's no Kohls in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. But I
like it.
think this was a perfect rollout, and it made total sense with the marketing of the shoe and helps contextualize the shoe in an even
If you
better
got
way.
the shoe at Kohls, let us know.
There's all those photos of people like trying to like pilfer through.
Yeah.
Another story you broke. 21 Mercer.
Closing down in January for good.
Down, end of an era.
Yeah.
We have a lot of 21 Mercer
Memories?
I
I have a few, but not like
I have a few.
ton.
I just remember. I think we were talking. Very intimidating place. It feels like where the OGs went.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the events, I didn't go to many, but I remember just walking in there and it was like that thin hallway and like in the back, like and it was always where like the sneakerhead OGs were at. And one thing I remember is like the whole bespoke era. Like I always remember like
Did you
the
ever make a
Marcus,
pair?
the Marcus Troy bespokes. They were like black, gray, and blue, and then all the Mayors bespokes, Clark's bespokes. Just like I went in the back room once, and I think Izzy was there, and like saw all the materials. But like in terms of a space, man, 21 Mercer. I remember you like not remember, but like walk to APC, and then you go a little further, and 21 Mercer. Definitely an end of an era, and that post the story that you did. And the post on social, you had a lot of people chiming in, and they're definitely like an institution in the city. So, yeah.
And such a special thing because it opened in 2008 and it was so unique at the time for being kind of a brand-owned sneaker boutique. The idea of sneaker boutiques was still relatively new then, but then to have a DTC kind of Nike-controlled one where the relationships were direct with the brand, and that meant that all the best shoes were going to release there is such a unique thing. And I think a lot of talented people who've been in the industry passed through those doors. You mentioned Izzy Mateo, who's designing special projects at Jordan Brand now. Will Whitney, a friend to us all.
Yes.
Dave Veriker was very important there. Just so many people, a lot of them behind the scenes. And from, again, you talk about the end of an era, but from a different era where you didn't necessarily need to be on social media posting about how you were the cool Nike guy who released this and helped do that. So I appreciate the people from those era. But yeah, I mean, I remember when I first moved to New York and I was working for Sneaker News at the time, the office was right on Broadway and Canal. So we were literally a 3-minute walk to Mercer. So
You
it
know
always...
a lot?
No, I mean, I had some like Dornbecker Jordans there. I think I mentioned on here before Nike Free and Neva Woven, some early Flyknit stuff. But
You had those Air Force Ones you sold for like $1 trillion or whatever.
Which pair?
That like New York looking NYC.
No, that was the New York NYC Air Force One was at the release of, ironically, Nike Soho.
Oh,
block, which
sorry, I mixed the two up.
Yeah, all good. But it was just that cool feeling. And again, this kind of goes to the Tom Sachs Kohls thing of something could pop up and you wouldn't necessarily
Walk
know,
in.
and you had to run over, you know, like I don't want to be too nostalgic and, you know, think about the old days as the old days, but just that feeling of anything could happen and something might be dropping there and somebody might text you and you might run 2 blocks to go try and grab it before
Big
it was
destroyer
gone.
jacket.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Big Destroyer jacket era.
Yeah.
Like, it was like you made the varsity team if you got a Nike Destroyer jacket. But yeah, that's super synonymous with that place.
Welty, do you have any
The
big pickups?
only like two like I don't want to say only memories, but like the two like vivid ones that I have is one, I think we've mentioned it on here, and I think we all got to participate in it, was when the Virgil, the 10 first release, Nike hit us up and said, pick which one you want. And the day before the release, got to go down to 21 Mercer and pay for them.
Buy a pair.
Yeah. Got the Prestos.
This is an interesting story too, because I feel like this speaks to some of the negative energy around Mercer. Like when I tweeted that story out, there were all these releases being like backdoor. This was the ultimate backdoor stock. And I don't know too much about that, but I do feel like it was a place where, like, yeah, if you were a person in the industry, or if you were someone who was contributing to the business or its, aura, you would get held down on stuff, so like, and, we can say very transparently, we were held down on those shoes. I think I got the Jordan ones from that release, but
same.
Just, it was also a place where people felt like they couldn't actually get access to stuff, and they couldn't necessarily be in that inner circle where you could buy stuff. But that's kind of that's that era, right? Of like the cool guy sneaker boutique where like you had to know things and you had to know people.
Well, there's always kind of like, I guess, rumors or not rumors or truths or whatever, where it's like certain individuals would always have like their size held down in shoes, where like if it came out like a size insert the blank was always put aside for certain people, not to name names or name sizes or anything, but I'm sure you can draw your own conclusions from that.
I not camped out. I lined up there early in the morning for the Country Camo Air Max pack.
I love those shoes.
Some Russian kid cut in line in front of me.
Was he mad there wasn't a Russian Air Max?
What'd you do?
There was no fight. I remember, what felt like a badge of honor to me one time I've worn them on here, I think, before, this pair of blue leather Nike Blazers with a yellow snakeskin swoosh that looks a bit like the Stussy All Court Mid. And it was an exclusive from this British store, Office, that's right, the British store,
maybe.
And I remember wearing them in Mercer, and the guy there at the time, I think he was maybe a manager type. I don't know everyone's name who's worked at Mercer over the years, but he kept asking me where I got them from, and I think I told him the wrong store at first, but then I had to go in and be like, oh, this is the name of the store. And even now I'm maybe getting it wrong, but it felt like a cool thing of like, oh, this guy who works at the coolest Nike store there is asking me what the shoes are. And they were just, a regular Euro exclusive type blazer, but that was like, okay, I'm in,
And the other one, other story I remember was, this wasn't a shopping experience, but I think it was like 2016 or 2017. I got to interview Roger Federer.
Oh, nice.
In like, there was some sort of, it's probably for the US Open. There was some sort of Nike like tennis event there. And he had done like a little like talk in front of the crowd, but like I got to go out back and talk to Roger Federer for like a half an hour or something like that. And I mean, it's like one of the most like memorable like moments in my career. I mean, we've interviewed all these people on the shows, and not to take away from that, but there was just something about like sitting down with Roger Federer like this, like in a private setting, and just talking to him that was like really special.
Didn't you shoot some sneaker shopping episodes there?
Kevin Hart, 21 Mercer, very early shoot. I remember he was flying in the morning to shoot, and I was like, oh man, he's gonna be tired. Like, I think he was coming in overnight from somewhere. And I remember the call time for that episode was super early. And I was like, we'll see the energy. And I think it might have been like 7:30 a.m. call time on a Saturday. And we shot at 21 Mercer, and he was just on professional.
Just like us,
never not on.
Oh, never not on, and just quick. And it was when he was releasing his shoes. But yeah, we shot that early in the morning on a Saturday several years ago, 21 Mercer. So, always good to have a little bit of sneaker shopping history in there.
I think I interviewed Errolson Hugh there. I didn't do too many interviews there, but around some acronym Air Force One project or something. Maybe that.
I have an interview with Kevin Hart somewhere in the ether that doesn't exist anymore.
Why not?
I don't know. It was just like something weird happened where I interviewed Kevin Hart for like 20 minutes at Equinox about his Nike shoe, and then someone along the line didn't agree on something, and it got taken off the internet. But disappointing. It was like one of those moments in my career. Like, this was like before full size run.
Over the phone or in person?
No, in person.
Oh wow. It was electric in person, right?
It was a video.
He's electric.
It was a video, and for whatever reason, it was like paperwork hadn't been signed or something, yada yada yada, and at that point, because this is like pre-full size run, this was like one of my like career like milestones.
Yeah, it's big.
And then it just like, they're like, no, you got to take this down. And
I talked to him at Monza for Breaking 2 briefly.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One more PSA on the Mercer tip. Listen, 21 Mercer, as we broke the story, is closing down January 2023. I'm hoping, and we got to put this out there,
Yes.
that the good people at Nike will help us out. I'm hoping we can host a podcast there or something, help send off the store in the proper way, interview some people involved. We would love to talk to them. We would love to, do a big event. Let the people come out,
We love it. Love to do that.
They had the grand opening party in 2008. Maybe do the grand closing one, 2013. And sorry, 2023. I don't know what fucking year.
They're gonna get Travis, and they're not getting us.
Or they might just
kidding.
like go quietly into the night. Who knows?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they
They wasn't there
Can
like
and
tons
they
of block
should.
parties?
the
Yeah.
stickball tournaments,
Yep.
things like
It's a
that.
classic Cuddy photo, brown American Apparel tee. I remember.
Too many memories to just let it go quietly into the night, in my opinion.
But it's definitely like end of an era.
Yes.
For sure.
Not just for that store, but like for what it means for like Nike going forward. Because obviously, like 21 Mercer wasn't the place where they're like moving units,
Right.
So it was more of like a symbolic.
Yeah, kind of a marketing tool in a way.
But and that's what I felt it maybe always was, or it's not like this was like supposed to be a moneymaker.
Volume store.
Yeah, but it was like, okay, we want Nike to be in this space where like you have to go here to be able to buy the shoes. Where it feels like maybe that like era of Nike is gone to some extent.
Right, like is that all digital now?
Yeah. And it feels like it was like a passing of the torch, or maybe it was superseded by, or like when the Nike Soho store opened up,
Big
which
one.
was it 3 or 4 stories?
4, I think.
It's like 5 or 6 stores. Yeah.
Yeah. But when that store opened up, it was like,
Yeah. This is how we're doing this now.
yeah,
It's not about the little boutique thing anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's like for a lot of Nike too, where it's like even their like cool shoes aren't done in that like small quantity
Yeah,
things
it's
anymore.
representative of this. It's like if you look at Mercer is Nike Soho is to Mercer as the Panda Dunk is to the Argon Dunk or something like that, right?
Yeah, where it's like there were
Yes.
these things that were able to exist like kind of in that vacuum of these like limited dunk packs
Yep.
and Air Force Ones and whatnot that only would release like here. You kind of like had to know someone to get it, where it's like but Nike's like, why are we gonna waste our energy doing this anymore if we're gonna make 1,000 pairs of shoes?
Right.
Like,
we
we can
need
make-
20,000. We need 60,000.
We can make 100,000 pairs of Travis's and like it will build the same energy or more for the brand.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Definitely an end of an era. Hope to get down there before January for sure.
Oh yeah.
Got some other topics.
What about this SB Jordan 4 thing?
Yeah. So what's the update? I know I saw another sample, but couldn't that have just been the wear test sample?
It could be. Look,
It
okay,
looks
so
different.
Oh.
when we saw P-Rod wearing it on feet, it was all black.
What about
And it was
Costin?
also black leather.
Okay.
Like smooth.
Oh.
It looked like smooth black leather.
Yeah. And sometimes these things change. And I came on here and I said, look, I'm told that it's supposed to be a pine green, military blue 4 type of flip thing. When we come on here and we talk about these things, sometimes I'm a little looser than if I'm like writing it on the website and I have like 3 sources
Yeah.
confirming it. Like one person says this to me, we mentioned it on the podcast, who knows? These things change sometimes. I still don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is going to be black. That sample quote unquote pair that floated out there is black. That could be fake. There's always fake stuff that doesn't look like the final thing. I'm not saying that to walk back what I said, but just like an explanation, like we'll see,
What does your heart say?
I would not anticipate them being all black, but again, like
Does your heart say that I'll be wearing a pair?
But also,
Several
my heart's
months.
screaming that.
but also,
And
maybe
if I am wearing a pair, it's probably all black.
maybe.
What was it? Okay.
Oh,
You all right?
no. Sorry, I didn't mean to. No, keep going. My bad.
No.
Yeah, go.
No, I'm just saying that I saw just that white, like you always looks different than what you're expected to be, but like white pine green just doesn't seem it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Again,
I agree.
Again,
That's
this is not something I published on the website and said we have 5
Yeah,
sources
yeah,
saying
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I said it offhanded here on the podcast. Maybe I put too much stock in it, but I'm just putting out there what I've heard so far.
I
That
just
white
can't
and green
imagine that being like the launch color.
I
Where it's
But
agree.
do you imagine it being a triple black Cat 4?
I can't imagine that either, but I just like, so let's just take a little trip down memory lane, right? Which we're wont to do.
Let's go.
First and only
Black and red.
Jordan SB shoe was the Air Jordan 1.
Yep.
Right? First pair to
Classic
release.
colors.
J-Rod?
Well, that's not really like a. Not
Sorry,
really.
I'm trying to get you on a
Yeah.
technicality.
Not-
Go on.
I saw some comments too.
Not really like a Jordan shoe per se. It had the Jordan logo on it, but not a Jordan sneaker. But
I'm just being cute.
first like Air Jordan X Nike SB like official like collaboration was, and I want to say it was 2014 or 2015. Fact check that. It was the Craig Stesic, who was like a infamous like a designer of logos for like skate brands or artists. Air Jordan 1, it's that black and like kind of like translucent-y
Greenish, yeah.
That was the first one.
Yep.
Second one, Lance Mountain, which is like the two pairs.
Wear away
like,
Jordan 1, it's the white and the black.
and it was like a little more of like a statement-y
Yeah.
color. So I can't imagine just white and green. I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Also surprised that Nigel's weren't a Nike SB shoe, but
Nigel Sylvester?
yeah.
No, shouldn't be.
No,
Not a skateboarder. You mean it, like it looks like it? Because
I just thought that for some reason they would have like
You think it just makes sense in
They
that
would have
lane?
folded.
wait, didn't he have a SB?
he had like
The
this-
black and white?
the six
Somp. Standing
a
on my
dunk.
pedals, right?
He had a dunk.
Yeah. We could put him on FaceTime right now. It's
Homie?
part
Is
of the kit set.
is he still on the kit trip?
Homie text Costin? He didn't go on the trip.
Yeah, text Costa for sure.
We need Costin on here.
Yeah,
Please.
we do. You can just ask him directly.
Some other stuff.
What else?
StockX code leaked.
Oh boy.
That was a Sunday morning.
This is what people actually come to the podcast for.
Sunday.
Screw all the
after-
other stuff. They
Really?
just
Remember
want
the big polo leak of a few years ago?
that
Yeah.
was like 10 years ago.
Dallas
Oh.
Pen with
I-
the polo
yeah.
code. It Just Blaze,
Just Blaze,
bought the
yeah.
chandelier and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Kohls,
So
yeah.
there was a leaked StockX promo code that gave you $100 off an order, and people were
Which is crazy if you think about it.
people were like showing receipts where it was like StockX owed them money after a purchase or something, or you would
You
just
get
buy a
shoes for
pair of
free.
Yeezy slides for free. Nobody was supposed to have this code. StockX is canceling all the orders. They're refunding everybody. You know, it's going to take a couple business days. They're trying to. People were. I saw on Twitter people who were shipping their orders as fast as they could to try and get it in. You know, if it sold
Totally.
through this.
But it didn't.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work. And obvious disclaimer here is like StockX is a direct competitor to eBay, and eBay sponsors this podcast. But you know, this isn't us trying to be like StockX fucked up, you know, because of the eBay sponsorship. Regardless of whether or not eBay sponsors this podcast, it was a massive error on StockX's part.
And then some other StockX news, like the Memphis leak, they're canceling.
Oh yeah,
What's
right.
up with that?
I mean, the big what's
They're flagging the orders, right?
Yeah.
The cherry Air Jordan 11s.
Yeah, because there was this Memphis, you know, as we all know, there's a big Nike distribution center there, and huge amount of early Nike Jordan sneakers falling off the backs of trains and trucks, as it were. And now, yeah, people are getting their orders canceled which is kind of an interesting precedent to set, to say like, this is stolen merchandise and we're not going to let you sell it on this platform, because like, I feel like maybe there's a lot of early sneakers that float through StockX, and where do you kind of draw the line in terms of like, this is stolen and this is,
Well, I
you
remember
shouldn't be selling this, you know, like,
like another like similar scenario was in like the aftermath of the George Floyd riots, where there was like I think like Flight Club or in Stadium Goods had gotten like looted. We had seen online there were like a bunch of like high end shoes like floating around online, and they were like, well, what do we do with like the merchandise that like people are trying to flip that like may not belong to them? Like, do we let them sell it here? Or not? Because I think there was like a pair of like Nike mags or something like that was floating around in that time. And it's like, if you're one of these stores, it's like you always go back to like I'm sure we've all watched Pawn Stars before.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh, great show.
I lived it.
Shout out our guy Chumley.
Yeah, great show.
But you know, they always kind of had that like, there was always an episode where they're like, hey, we can't accept this as a stolen merchandise.
Oh, okay.
Dude, if you want to talk about, I joked that I didn't watch it because I lived it, because growing up, my stepdad owned like a record store, but it was also we sold like new and used video games and instruments and stereo equipment and bicycles and DVDs and washing machines and just everything. And we would have all these instances. First of all, anytime anybody came in, this is me getting to tell my retail stories because I never get to participate when you guys talk about footwear retail. But whenever somebody came in to sell something, we would have like a notebook that we would write down. We would get their driver's license or their ID and write down their name and date of birth. But also there were definitely young people who would come in and be like, what do you want? What do you need? I can get what you want from Walmart. They like basically saying like, I could go to Walmart and steal some brand new PS2 games or something and sell them to you. Do you want a Game Boy Advance?
Just outside of Kohls with the Tom Sachs in 2022.
Man.
Did you ever have instances of like accidentally buying stolen merchandise?
I'm sure there were some times, but none of them really stick out. There are a lot of things from my time in that store and, selling LPs and CDs and ukuleles that stick out to me. But
Ukulele.
I can sell a ukulele.
You were slinging ukuleles like I was doing insoles?
Trust me. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I was doing the window display.
Wow.
We'll do a whole episode on that.
Okay.
Actually, no, we won't. Why would people want to hear that?
But it just makes me wonder, though, like going back to that, where it's like how much like responsibility falls on someone like StockX. So it's like if they're selling unknowingly or knowingly selling stolen goods via their platform.
Yeah.
If like, if authorities could get like involved in that to some degree. And
well, also like remember StockX is beefing with Nike right now via this lawsuit. So I feel like it's in StockX's best interest to help out and be a good partner wherever they can because they don't want to go to war with Nike. Nobody does. I mean, John Geiger won, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like you dabble a little.
John did,
or they settled. I mean. I guess it's not technically, but in my opinion, it was a win. I do dabble in that, Joe.
Yeah,
you're right. Anything else we should talk about before we get out of here?
Anything else?
I was on Broadway. I went to see Funny Girl. I'm a big Leah Michelle stan now.
I have no clue
it's not going
about
anywhere.
anything you just talked about.
I do.
Yeah, it lives up to the hype. Yeah, Funny Girl on Broadway. Beanie Feldstein could never.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's random.
Anything else?
No, this was fire.
Ended on the most important note.
A lot of energy for early Monday morning. We're back. Right?
Yeah.
He said a lot of energy and we both just sat here.
All right, everyone.
Limp and lifeless.
Touched on a lot of topics. Actually, one thing. I feel like people like the 2018 revisiting the sneakers. We're going to do more years, but not a lot said specific years. I want to know, like, we want to keep doing that. I enjoyed it. People, really good reactions to the undercover on social.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, these were great, or they played them out.
Reacts.
Alex
again,
Diamond hit me up.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he say?
What did he say? And I mean, anything you could share?
Yeah, he said he found a pair in the back of the closet and he was trying to remember what they were and he had to look up the style number. Happy to help.
All right. So listen, let us know what years you want us to do. We'll do it every maybe once a month. We'll see. All right, guys, we're back. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe, comment. We will see you next week.